So where are we heading?
We're heading to Syracuse
Oh,
for the next level of 5 Elements Living TV. I'm Shelby Conley. I've been practicing acupuncture for over 20 years, and I'm the owner of 5 Elements Living Retreat Center in upstate New York. Each week, I'll take you on a journey from the heart of the city into rural hidden areas to discover various healing art centers and wellness experiences that will encourage you to live as well as possible. Let's shift your focus to see how these healing modalities are becoming the new medicine. Join me en route to the alternative. I had walked into Core Eatery at one time because I saw it online and thought this place is amazing. The food is beautiful looking. I didn't get a chance to taste it yet. We're going to get to do that today. Here at Core Eatery, co-founder Tom Mansfield has agreed to meet with us and show us around this gorgeous restaurant. Todd explains how the lack of healthy food options here in upstate New York became his inspiration to start Core Life Eatery. His background's in physical therapy. Nutrition wasn't even on his mind.
Got interested in biochemistry and got interested then in nutrition and how nutrition and biochemistry and how the body works. Physical therapy, I really thought of it really sort of in one little vein, and I didn't really navigate outside of those waters. And then I started in this, kind of nutrition and metabolic medicine world that got me thinking about food and nutrition and biochemistry in a different way. And when I sold my practice in physical therapy, this seemed like a nice transition to, so how do we convey that message in a way that would hit the masses? Mm-hmm. You don't have to be interested in biochemistry to be interested in, performing at your highest level.
Over the years, I've seen hundreds of patients with IBS, the irritable bowel syndrome. But when I really looked up the statistics, it's 60 million Americans who suffer with some kind of irritability. IBS is actually a very vague term that they use in Western medicine. It really covers a multitude of symptoms. Irritable bowel syndrome. And really, it doesn't matter what kind of medicine you use for it, if you use Western medicine or alternatives. The best way to heal the entire tract is by changing your eating habits. Food allergies and sensitivities can show up a multitude of ways. And on paper, there is a big difference between an allergy and a sensitivity. Allergies, throat closing up, can't breathe, need to be rushed to the emergency room, EpiPen. Sensitivities are the discomfort that most of us feel after a big meal, especially after lunch, when we've eaten things we probably shouldn't have. We get sleepy, tired, irritable, headachy. Most of us deal with that. So what Core Life Eatery has done is taken out a lot of the culprits, but more importantly has labeled each one of them so people who have certain symptoms know what to avoid.
Food allergies have become like a really, really big issue in America. Mm-hmm. From all of the processed nasty food, we're actually killing our gut, our microbiome, and stuff that is making people's tolerance to food far less. So we really speak into the food allergy world where we have essentially no gluten. We're very clear on where we have allergies: dairy, soy, I said gluten. And then I speak into why does that stuff matter? And when we want to cheat or get into something, listen, a perfect example is soy has been one of the staples of our marinade. And there is a fair amount of literature that challenges soy and the health benefits of soy, especially when you have a lot of it. And so we are in the process now of saying, how do we remove some of those things that continue to come up as, hey, do you know that soy is potentially a phytoestrogen?
So he's using the word phytoestrogen. So phyto is Greek for plant, and estrogen is, estrogen. And it's a hormone made in the body by both men and women and plants. So not to throw soy under the bus, it's complicated because in its whole form, soy is very good for us, the soybean. But once it gets processed, like a lot of foods, that's what changes the chemical components of it, making it, not so good for us.
It may not be good for, especially women that are mindful of cancer and all. So we are now in the process, as Scott's joined us, of taking soy out of our marinade. Mm-hmm. So very soon we'll be a soy-free restaurant. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff I help to speak into. Hey, Scott, we need to get rid of some of this stuff. And he says, okay, how do we do it?
Mm-hmm. The modern setting and decor at Core Life, it's spacious, it's well lit, beautiful low-hanging pendant lights accented with dark wood on the walls. I really like the motivational phrases. and the philosophy Core Life has. It's an upscale feel in a cafeteria-style atmosphere.
So we say we're in the fast casual sector, which says we're between the casual sit-down dining and the quick service restaurant. We say, how do we live in a space where people can get high-quality food, can get what they want in a customized fashion at an affordable rate, a speedy time frame.
It makes it very easy to eat healthy with great tasting food, and you'll leave feeling full but not uncomfortable. So Todd says he's pushing against the trend in the fast, casual sector of restaurants. What does that really mean?
I think we are going against the trend. No desserts, no soda, no sandwiches. Like we're pushing against the trend and proving that there's an unmet need, not just in food, but in lots of the areas that we live in. But in the food area, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
They source as much as they can from local farms to ensure everything is as fresh as possible.
So it's Monday morning in August. It isn't even noon yet, and look at the line. It's incredible. All types of people lining up for fresh, whole food. Now literally, the line is out the door on a Monday before noon.
And with a line out the door for 2.5 years, people are starting to take notice. So while we were waiting in this extremely long line, you'd think we were waiting for the new iPhone. It gave us plenty of time to look over the menu. So it's based on greens, grains, and bone broths. And when we finally get up to make our order, the selections are simple, and it's pretty easy to pick out what you want because it's all good for you. It's all free of artificial colors, flavors, and high fructose corn syrup.
And Shelby, would you like Thai cashew on this one?
Well, you might be impressed that they know my name, but they know everybody's name. That's part of the customer service, which, of course, I love. Feeling like you're being taken care of or felt special. So as you can see, it is set up very similar to fast food restaurants. My favorite part is how you can customize what goes in the bowl, which is so rare because usually I get the eye roll. When you look at the board up at the top or on the menu, they have pre-done dishes, which you can make your own. You can go through and pick out the things that you want for your bowl or in your bone broth. So they gather up the ingredients in small bowls, and then they're going to mix it up in a big bowl. Just watch how good it looks. It's very well managed because there's several people in line. There's people behind me, people ahead of me, and I have 3 orders. None of us have 1 order. So for $35.86, 3 of us ate fast casual. So that works out to be about $12 a piece. But of course, Nate had the double. So while I'm teaching Nate about quantity, we still have to work on the lessons of quantity. Expanding across the states, they are looking for franchisees. However, the qualifications are based on the understanding of a bigger picture.
When you're looking, when a franchisee comes in and wants to, is there an interview, is there certain questions you would ask?
Oh, yeah. Our culture and our values are critical. It's not whether you have enough money or you've been a multi-store operator first.
Yes.
It's do you understand what we're doing and do you believe it and do you live it? And if those criteria are met, then we're interested in going to the next step.
I'm at their first location in North Syracuse that started in 2015, and since then, the brand has spread to several states, such as Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and as far south as Kentucky, and out west to Utah. By the end of 2018, 1/3 of Core Life Eatery's locations will be franchised. So what that means is their workforce will increase by tenfold in their headquarters and at 21 locations. So to make it easy on their patrons, Core Life Eatery is aligning themselves with other wellness organizations such as Weight Watchers and Whole30. It makes it so much easier for the people who are on those plans to go out to eat.
Everything is well marked. We have lots of nutritional information. We're working on a nutritional calculator which will make it very simple. We've worked with Weight Watchers and are working with Whole30 and other groups so that we start to speak their language, like specifically in Weight Watchers Smart Points, so that we're kind of connecting with them in more of a, it actually will be a national level so that people that are Weight Watchers can come and see their Smart Points on our menu.
Oh, yes. Well, I love how you're simplifying it for people.
Yes. Yeah, try to make it as limiting pain points for the customer.
And so when you put that together, what did you think about with your employees, like the ones that will be working here, in terms of keeping them motivated and keeping them educated?
Listen, that's educated and motivated. It's the notion that I think information is empowering, and when you start to talk about why what we're doing matters, like a bigger, instead of just coming here and working and selling salad, that actually you're doing something better than that, bigger than that, something that actually matters for the people across the counter. Your customer, you're actually providing food that actually is really good for them, and will not only be good for their health, but good for their performance and their wellness.
I got a chance to see behind the scenes at Core Life Eatery, watching employees who really do understand the concepts of real, fresh ingredients. They start 3 hours before it even opens, carefully prepping and filling the line.
What time do you guys get here in the morning?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? So, and then it really starts, the doors open at 11.
Doors, yep.
So you must have to have a lot prepared. I've seen the wall, and all those are filled. We'll look at that. That's brilliant.
So what type of employee is Core Life Eatery looking for? Preferably those without food experience. They like the idea of educating their employees from the start, teaching them to appreciate the level of standard that comes with working at the restaurant. You don't need to know how to cook or prepare. It's all in the training.
Well, I love the education that must go into the employees, because the whole piece is that you have to educate as they come down the line.
Yeah, so we educate on what our produce and our product is, and then we educate at a deeper level of why the produce and the product we're selling really matters, from an anatomy and physiology standpoint, from a biochemistry standpoint, and how all of that stuff is relevant in how we live, and function and perform.
No, I started off as a builder, and then I became shift supervisor, and then I've just grown from there, and now I'm assistant in the kitchen, and potentially room to grow from there. So, yep, and I love my job, and not a lot of people can say that.
No, you're right.
Okay, while most of us know that eating fresh, healthy food is good for our bodies, we can easily shy away from the time it takes to prepare and cook it. While making a commitment to these lifestyle changes start out with good intentions, the cumbersome work of putting it into daily life isn't sustainable. Core Life Eatery can keep your good intentions staying solid with using locally sourced foods made from scratch. All their ingredients are free from artificial colors, flavors, and high fructose corn syrup. So the menu's based on 3 simple ingredients: greens, grains, and bone broths. It allows you to create your own meal with selections that can be either vegetarian, vegan, or with meat using hormone and antibiotic-free meats.
It's brilliant, but it's really just old school. Like, it's very old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Like, what we're doing is going back to when, moms and dads used to go out and hunt and farm, and then provide a meal, and then take all the scraps and all the bones and put them into a kettle and have them simmer, and then eat for the next 2 or 3 days. Listen, that's all we're doing, but it's very labor intensive, and no one's doing it anymore. And so we're just introducing some old cooking styles and going back to just kind of a traditional way to eat, and it actually really seems to resonate with our customer. I think my favorite part is I get to read people's feedback, and I'm mindful that lots of people, because our messaging is that this is a really healthy place to go, so people are writing, telling us their story about how their life has changed. Getting off of metformin, a diabetes medication, reducing or eliminating blood pressure medication, having a guy, there's one guy I've been following, we're like now friends, he's lost 152 pounds. He eats here twice a day, every day. He lives in Cleveland. And I say, what's a place where you could go, what restaurant can you go to where you could go there twice a day, eat whatever you want to, and in 6 or 7 months lose 150 pounds? It's unheard of.
It's like having a personal chef.
No, exactly right.
The best part about Core Eatery were the people. Yes, the food was clean, we had a great lunch, but the experience of how we were taken care of and watching how the employees took care of everybody in line, not just us, was special. In most fast food restaurants, a lot of the employees are grumpy. They're younger people who really don't care to be there. It's a step up for them. But every employee here is seeing this as a growth opportunity. They were pretty excited about how, as soon as they get here, they're valued for their work. They all were happy, and they were thrilled to show us around. Todd was a true professional. You could tell that his 30 years of experience of dealing with people has brought him to this point in his life where he's well respected and honored. He's thoughtful and deeply cares about his employees. I'm so thankful he took the time out of his busy schedule to meet with us here at Core Eatery.
Join us next time as we meet new people, eat great food, and find holistic adventures. And for outtakes and extended viewing footage, or if you have a space that's unique to the health and wellness field that you'd like us to film, take a look at enroutetothealternative.com.